and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Lauren, and today I am looking at a video that was suggested 10 million years ago on the Discord. So I'm sorry, didn't get to it, but now I am. So this is one that would probably usually go on Americans Learn, just because it is a comedy video, and that's usually where I put those. But let's shake it up. We'll put it on Chicago Reacts. This is Randy Buys a Bookshelf on Gumtree. I have seen some Randy Felt Face shorts. I have seen some of his stuff. But that just means I know I like it. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you again for the suggestion. And once again, I am so sorry that it has taken me so long to do it. So this was suggested by Scotty Doom Turtle Box Shadow on Discord. So thanks, Scotty. I got to it eventually. Let's go.
Here we go. Okay, fuck. Okay, here we go.
Wow, starting out strong.
Walking to Sky, Chapter 1. I bought a bookshelf on Gumtree recently. It was an amazing experience. I'll quickly tell you about it and then I'll read the book. But I found it strange because it made me start to think about the way, like, our methods of communication have sort of changed over the years. You know, in the old days, if you wanted a bookshelf, you'd just go see Gareth the bookshelf guy because he was the dude in your tribe that made the bookshelves. He had a little bookshelf cave. He was reputable. Now any mad bastard can sell their shit on Gumtree. You know what I mean? As a species, we're sort of able to cope with knowing and gossiping about around like 100 or 150 people. That's like the limit of our tribe. Any more than that, it starts to get confusing, which is why we created abstract constructs like territories and deities to unite larger groups of people under an imaginary common factor. And it works a treat because we only really gather en masse on special occasions. But I think like social media and it's fucking all that up, you know? I don't think we're able to deal with the thousands of people we're connected to on a daily basis. And as a result, we neglect our immediate 150, you know? That's why...
Okay, you know what? I can get behind that. I can see that. I mean, I definitely don't know my neighbors very well anymore.
Why I never get invited to parties anymore. It's not because I ramble on about veganism and fisting old ladies.
No, not at all.
It's because I'm not on Facebook and everybody just assumes you are. I am so behind on the births, deaths and marriages of my friends that I feel like the time traveler's wife every time I go to a party. I'm like, this is Tim, he's our son, he's 6 now. Fucking... didn't even know you were pregnant. Anyway, and you know smartphones aren't that great. You know that, right? They're not that great. You don't need the internet in your pocket. You work at Coles, okay? You're not working for the president.
There is a reason that I waited so long to get a smartphone. I didn't have a smartphone until after I graduated college. Because, and literally everybody I knew in college had a smartphone. I did not get one because I was like, I knew what it would do to me. But eventually I couldn't trust MapQuest anymore, so I got one for the GPS, and then it just spiraled from there. But yeah, I've definitely experienced that. It's like, I've got friends who it's like, this is my kid, they're 12, and I'm like, whoa, since when?
You don't need it. You don't need that much information. And also, what was the point of developing opposable thumbs for you to take a photo of your head and post it on the internet and then just stand by for validation? No one gives a fuck about your head. They'll only validate it in order to gain permission to post a photo of their own head on the internet and stand by for validation. The people who give a fuck about your head will at some point see it in real life. Fuck your head and the neck it rode in on. Your vanity is sucking up my bandwidth.
I feel so called out.
Anyway, this is what's going through my head as I'm on Gumtree looking for a bookshelf. Because, you know when you put something in the search in Booktree? What the fuck? When you put something in the search on Gumtree, I'm having a stroke up here. Yeah, when you put something in the search, right, and
words are hard, it's fine.
There's always a couple of things that come up in the list that are like the polar opposite of what you search for. I'm like, get out of my head, Gumtree algorithms, conspiracy. No, but seriously, you type it's like bookshelf, and it's like bookshelf, 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 gramophone, bookshelf, 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 combine harvester. What the fuck?
You know what? I noticed because I think what happens is people just like hashtag every word they can freaking think of. Like, and then it shows up in the weirdest places because they just hashtagged literally everything. And so it just yoinks it's like, okay.
That's actually a pretty good price. Anyway, on this particular day, I found 2 bookshelves that worked for me in terms of cost and, more importantly, geographical convenience, because I'd be fucked if I'm driving to Broadmeadows to pick up a bookshelf, right? So I type in bookshelf and I see the 2 things and I'm like, okay, one seller is Kathy, the other is Morgan. I send them both the same text message. Hello, I saw your bookshelf on Gumtree. Is it still available? Kathy texts back straight away saying, sorry, it went this morning. That's cool, Kathy. I'm sorry I gave you an annoying voice in the retelling of this story. Morgan's response came through a couple of minutes later and simply read, it was my wife's bookshelf. How do you respond to that?
Okay.
From the fact that it doesn't answer my fucking question.
So is it available? Like, do you want me to play it there? What happened to your wife? Does she know you're selling it? Or is she the one who decided to sell it and you have no idea because you're gone?
His use of past tense in that sentence unnerved me slightly.
Imagine that.
I'm like, oh, I should probably just find another bookshelf. And then I noticed he lived in the suburb next to me, so I replied, is it still available? He responded with the letter Y. Just
yes.
a Y? Is he asking me why I want to know if it's still available? Or is it a Y for yes, and he's so in the throes of grief that he can't manage the E and the S? I assume it's a Y for yes, so I respond, cool, I'll take it. When's a good time to come and pick it up? No reply for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's forgotten about me. Fuck it, I'll find another bookshelf. And then when his reply actually does come through, I realise he spent those 15 minutes crafting his response because it's a fucking thesis.
Oh, great.
He
Love
must
that.
have felt so bad about only using a single consonant in his previous text that he just massively overcompensated with this one.
Why is that vowel though? But yeah. No, this is one of the reasons I don't use Facebook Marketplace. I'm just like, I just don't. If I want furniture, I usually end up going to one of the couple of the thrift stores around because there's always furniture. But I'm like, I've used, Amazon unfortunately for it too, but.
Also, for some reason, felt that the use of punctuation entirely unnecessary.
Oh, optional punctuation.
It's just one obscenely long sentence which reads, you must come and pick up now. I only have short time here at house and also it wide. So bring van or trailer and there stair. But I can help you carry downstairs. If you come park out front, walk up past ring bell and I will help you carry it to trailer or van. I only accept cash. And if you do not come now, I will sell it someone else.
Okay, so he's stealing his wife's bookshelf, huh?
Again, I'm thinking, I should just find another bookshelf at this point. But now I am fascinated by Morgan,
Yes.
and I simply must meet the man.
Yes, invested for sure.
I drive over to his house. Oh, before I left, I sent him a message saying, cool, I'll be there in 10 minutes. He replied, okay, but spelled it O-K-A-Y, which just fascinated me more.
Don't the Y.
4 letters to spell a 2-letter word, but only 1 letter to spell a 3-letter word. Morgan is off the fucking chain.
Living on the edge. He's living on the edge and he's definitely stealing his wife's bookshelf. He is selling off his wife's possessions while she's at work.
And as I'm driving over to his house, I'm trying to picture what he's going to be like, His pidgin English might suggest ethnicity of some sort, but I don't want to racially profile him. Maybe he's an old man who recently lost his wife and is not that very good at texting. Or maybe, and I'm really hoping this is the case, Morgan is just batshit crazy.
See, that's the difference between a man and a woman right there, I think, is that a man will have no compunctions going to go visit someone they think is batshit crazy, and a woman would at the very least bring a friend.
I get to his house and I go up to the... I park out front, walk up, path, ring bell, and I brace myself for the door to be opened by, like, an old man in a smoking jacket, wearing fishnet stockings and suspenders.
Yes.
Just...
Is he using the American version of suspenders here or not? Randy Feltface is not American, but I don't know if he uses which turn of phrase suspenders he is using here. I'm picturing it in both ways, and both ways it's very funny.
Puffing on an opium pipe while a butler just creepily polishes a goldfish in the background. And then a tiny pug dog wearing a fez hat just trots up the hallway, sits on the mat, looks up at me and says, "Welcome to our lovely room." And then the door opens and I am thoroughly disappointed. Before me stands an average Caucasian male in his mid-30s, dressed casually, hipster chic, stubble, glasses with designer frames,
boring,
expensive watch. I immediately think architect, but the house is too cheesy for that. It's like a double-story doll's house with bay windows. But definitely a designer of some kind, maybe a graphic designer. He's too skinny for manual labour. He's too hip for the public sector. But this can't be Morgan. Because Morgan's text messages would suggest that he's not that technically savvy. And then the man standing in front of me says, "Hello, my name's Morgan." And the plot thickens!
Oh, damn.
He invites me in, shakes my hand, closes the door, and 20 minutes later, I will be witnessing Morgan perform some of the most aggressive acts of violence I've ever seen in my life. And I will be speeding away in my car, bleeding from the face.
What?
Here's how this shit went down.
Holy shit. Okay, it's like he's gonna end up having, like, whacked his face against the bookshelf or something, right? There's no way Morgan punched him. As I said, though, this is why I bring a friend.
I go into the house and I notice two things.
Because I would go. Because I would go. I would be fascinated enough to want to go, but I would definitely try and get someone to go with me.
I go into the house and I notice two things immediately. One, this is a house in the throes of renovation. Nothing too extreme, but there's like drop sheets on all the furniture, there's freshly painted walls, there's a bathtub wrapped in plastic in the hallway awaiting installation. Someone's doing some work on this house. The second thing I notice, on the way up the stairs to the second floor, on the first floor landing, is a wedding photograph featuring a very cleanly shaven Morgan with a very beautiful bride. Very much in love. The photograph is very much on the floor and the glass in the frame is very much smashed. She's not dead, she's left him, and the plot thickens a bit more for Morgan. And as Morgan unceremoniously, kicks the photo frame to one side on the way up the stairs, I really wanted to pry into Morgan's life and ask heaps of inappropriate questions.
You should have. Did you?
But he was clearly a broken man. He had this terrible air of sadness around him, so I didn't want to intrude.
I would be like, did he kill this lady? There's so suspicious renovations, getting rid of things that were his wife's, kicking of the photograph, which is just terrifying.
Luckily for me, though, I didn't have to, because Morgan immediately began oversharing and told me the whole fucking story.
Amazing.
Thank you,
Amazing.
Morgan. I shall hang off your every word and then retell your tale to 200 strangers and record it for a fucking DVD.
Good.
He is a...
Millions of people, I think, have seen this video. Yeah, 13 million people have now seen this video. So 13 million people know the tale of Morgan, and I'm about to find out.
Graphic designer, yes, and he's really good at it. He does massive rebranding campaigns for large corporations. He gets flown all over the world doing this shit, right? About 4 years ago, a woman hired Morgan to rebrand her florist business, and he did such a great job, she married him. And he thought everything was just fine, until about 3 months ago, Morgan had to do a presentation in Sydney, right? But he was on his way home from overseas and he got stuck in Dubai due to a flight cancellation. So rather than cancel the meeting, Morgan suggested to these businessmen in Sydney that they do a Skype chat because he's so technologically savvy despite his fucking baffling text message style. So Morgan checks into a hotel, cracks open his laptop and starts Skyping with this room full of businessmen in Sydney who are all watching Morgan on a massive screen on their boardroom wall, right? And everything's going great. Morgan is totally nailing it until about halfway through, he realises that a file he wants to show these dudes is on the desktop of his home computer back in his home office in Melbourne.
Bummer.
And he decides to live share the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. He knows how to do that. He can control his computer remotely from anywhere in the world. It's not particularly new technology, but Morgan makes it sound so impressive. So this room full of businessmen are all watching keenly like, oh, Margaret, bring in some biscuits. There's some newfangled shit going on in here.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. She's cheating on him in his office?
As Morgan clicks a few buttons and brings up the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. Now, what Morgan doesn't realise is that his wife has been using the photo booth app on that particular computer to take pictures of herself. To take naked pictures of herself. To take naked pictures of herself doing some pretty fucked up shit. It's embarrassing.
Why would she do that? Why would she not use her own computer? Is she trying to Gone Girl herself? Like, what's happening?
To say the least, just as Margaret came back in with the biscuits, I've got you the... Now, those of you who are familiar with the photo booth app will know that how it works is it accesses the built-in camera in your computer and with a click of a button, takes a photo of you when you're standing in front of the screen. And if you know that, you'll also know that if you leave that application open, the camera also stays open, witnessing whatever may be happening in front of the computer in real time. Such as your wife, in your home office, fucking your best mate.
Oh, God. Why the... Oh, whoa. That's insane behavior. Why do you do that in your husband? Like, what did Morgan do to this woman that she felt the need to, like, find that, like, she needed to humiliate him and hurt him like that? Because this feels so targeted. Because I feel like you're in his office. It's different than doing it in his bed, you know? Like just to sort of like get this, like, what did she get, like a sick pleasure of like knowing that's like, I know what I did in that chair when he sits in it to do his work? Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Morgan then goes on to tell me she's keeping the house, his former best mate is moving in, and while they're out for the day happily shopping for fittings, Morgan must suffer the indignity of moving his shit out and selling the stuff they don't want on Gumtree to this guy.
Oh no! Morgan! Come on now, you're worth more than that. I mean, even maybe you're a dickhead, I don't know, but like, I mean, there's usually in cases of cheating, it feels like there's reasons, good or bad. Usually it's not. This feels this is psychopathic on her and the best friend's part. And again, I do not know anything about Morgan. I don't know if he did something that made her feel like he deserved it, because I think it has like extreme circumstances for someone to deserve to be cheated on, especially something like that. Like that, there has to be a massive amount of abuse happening for that to even be remotely okay, like understandable, you know? Like, holy shit, Morgan. I'm so sorry, man. I've been kind of flippant about you. I feel so bad.
It's at this point.
Maybe he should just like burn down the house. I don't know. like, come on. Like, or maybe this is why. Maybe he should just sell the stuff that she does want. Just sell everything in the house. Just like sell all of it. Make them start completely from scratch.
Part of the story that Morgan starts crying. He breaks down, and I do not blame the man. It's
no, not
horrible.
at all. That's
and I just
horrible.
want to give him a big hug and say everything's going to be all right, Morgan. But I am holding the full weight of a bookshelf halfway down a set of stairs.
Oh, God.
And Morgan is the only thing stopping that bookshelf from caving my face in. I was like, Morgan!
I'm sorry, man, but I'm gonna die.
And Morgan managed to pull himself together for about 8 seconds and then just went bah and let the bookshelf go. I fell backwards. It literally rolled over me and took out the light hanging above the staircase. I'm now lying on my back getting showered in broken glass. As the bookshelf turned end over end, it just went thonk right through a freshly painted wall at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like,
Oh, no. Like I said, let's just do some destruction here. Yeah. I mean, if this is what the acts of violence is going to be, I feel like at this point, fully justified. Fully justified. Just destroy this thing. The problem is she might, sue him. It seems like she's enough of a bitch. He destroyed my stuff. Well, I guess he destroyed my stuff. We agreed that I would keep the house, and he destroyed it all. Gonna give her an annoying Australian accent.
I've got a tiny cut on my forehead, which is just pissing blood for some reason. Apart from that,
wounds.
I'm fine.
Ow.
Morgan, however,
Not
she's
fine.
not fine.
No, Morgan.
Morgan is the opposite of fine.
Morgan had a little bit of a breakdown, it sounds
Something
like.
happened when the bookshelf lodged itself in the wall, and his sadness just went away in a second, and he started pissing himself laughing. Hysterical. And he had the creepiest laugh I've ever heard in my life. I'm standing going, this is weird, and he's going, like some sort of demonically possessed baritone kookaburra. Can I still have the bookshelf? He's like, We extracted from the wall. The bookshelf, incidentally, showing no sign of having just rolled down a
job, bookshelf.
smashed through a wall.
Awesome.
We carried it out to my car. We had to stop about 6 times because Morgan was like, hang on a minute. We got it to my car, put it on the trailer, and Morgan was in such a great mood, he let me have the bookshelf for free. Oh! And that's where the story should end.
Yup, but nope. What's he gonna do? I feel like he's had a bit of a break. Again, I understand this break. It's a justified break. I am worried now that he is going to start destroying things in the house, and then his wife is going to sue the hell out of him because it seems like the kind of thing she would do.
But there was something about the bookshelf going through the wall that flipped a fucking switch in Morgan's head, and he is now hungry for more destruction. So as I started tying the bookshelf down to my trailer, Morgan just strolls over to like an upright mailbox on the front lawn and just starts trying to wrench it out of the ground, just really putting his back into it. He's like, I'm like, you okay, buddy? He's like, yep. He pulls it out of the ground, whereupon he wields it like a fucking battle axe.
I was
and
not-
he starts smashing up the front garden, just beheading the daisies, fucking up the lavender. I'm like, hey Morgan, maybe you want to stop and think about that. And he wheeled around and looked at me like Jack Nicholson chasing Shelley Duvall up the stairs in The Shining and said, why don't you mind your own fucking business? Yep, cool, man. Yep.
Oh my God, and the neighbors. Again, Oh no, Morgan.
Now, I like tying knots. I'm quite good at tying knots. If I tie something down, I take my time because I want it to stay there. But as Morgan nonchalantly strolled up the driveway, rolled up the garage door, and put the mailbox through the windscreen of an Audi, I must admit, I kind of rushed my knot tying job. I got in the car, I'm about to drive off. I'm like looking at the house going, I'm sure he'll be fine. And then an armchair smashed out of an upstairs window and just went doink, 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 doink down the front lawn. I was like, what's my duty of care in this situation?
No. This man is getting sued. You do not want to be involved in this anymore. Like, nope.
I didn't want to call the cops on him. I didn't want him to trash the house. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to talk to Morgan. So I got out, I walked up the driveway, shitting myself. You know when someone does something really violent and you're just like, fuck, we're not supposed to do shit like that.
Yes!
Just yucky feeling in my tum.
Oh!
Standing there.
Yes, I do know, actually. Oh my God, we had an incident at the softball game recently. Absolutely batshit crazy, horrifying. Never experienced anything like that, at least not in that particular venue. It was so scary. Anyway. Doesn't matter.
Standing there in the garage, and there's like an adjoining door in the garage that leads into the house. I can see in through the door into the house, up the staircase. It's like a wooden staircase, and I'm standing in the garage just going, Morgan.
Oh, I just feel so bad because, like, obviously this lady, for what she did to him, deserves to have her shit smashed. She deserves to have her shit smashed because, like, the location of her cuckolding, the cold-heartedness of making him sell the stuff she doesn't want with his best friend, like, crazy. Sorry, like, that's horrific behavior. She deserves to have her shit smashed. But Morgan is going to get in trouble for this.
Morgan! Like I was calling a cat for its dinner. Like, Morgan! Muggy, 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 muggy! And then I notice a small trickle of water start to come from the top step. And then a little bit more water, and then quite a lot of water. Just pissing down the stairs like a shitty water feature. I'm like, that can't be right. And then Morgan appeared on the top step holding a hammer like this. Bah! I was like, whoa! He's like, bah! Starts running at me wielding the hammer going, bah! I'm like, no. I just wanted to buy a bookshelf. He's like, run straight past me. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, bah! Made a beeline for my car. I'm like, no, man, stop. He's like, stop it, just stop. He spins around and goes, I just checked my phone. She texted me 15 minutes ago saying she'll be here in 15 minutes. We gotta go. Excuse me,
Morgan. Now you're an accessory.
And gets into my car. Jesus, fuck me. I run down the lawn, get in the driver's seat. I'm like, what was with the water? He goes, I put plugs in all of the sinks and turned all the taps on. I'm like, that's fucked. He's like, just drive. I was like, nah.
Now he has to. Like, I mean, the man's clearly a little unhinged. Again, I feel like his unhingedness is justified. But he's got a hammer. Oh my God.
We rounded the corner at the end of his street and the bookshelf just went boosh and exploded against the guardrail. Just exploded in a shower of badly tied knots and broken dreams. So me and Morgan just fucking left it there. Like a little breadcrumb for his ex-wife to find on the way home to her destroyed gingerbread house. I dropped Morgan at a train station. I have never seen him again. And that, my friends, is why I no longer shop on Gumtree. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Fuck. You know my favourite bit of that story? I just made it up. Yeah, it's not true.
Good.
There is no Morgan. It's very unsatisfying, isn't it? But I saw him in my head.
I saw him in my head, too.
I saw Morgan in my head.
I mean, I believed him. I was like, this definitely happened. But I have heard of some truly unhinged things happening from, like, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, you know, things like that. I mean, I have, and you know, lots of am I the asshole stories. Like, so I have seen some unhinged shit. Morgan and the situation he found himself in is highly plausible, and that is concerning.
Why is it we can feel so robbed when someone tells us a story we just heard isn't true, and yet so satisfied at the end of a fictional novel? Huh? I don't know. You know the other great thing about that story? First draft. Fuck you, Hemingway!
Pretty good. I did believe him. But like I said, I am primed to believe stories like that. I have witnessed that kind of behavior. And I did feel bad for Morgan. I did feel bad for him. And angry at the lady. But like I said, I was like, I don't know their whole tale. Try to keep an open mind. You got me, Randy Feltface. You got me real good. I feel like an idiot. But that was still quite fun. I don't feel fully unsatisfied. Actually, I feel so much happier that it's not real. Like, I mean, I imagined he had changed the name of this person, but like, I do feel a lot better that it's not real because I felt so bad for Morgan. He was going to get in so much trouble. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for the suggestion. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.